Well, I guess we're going to have to call, I don't know, I got to get this straightened out after I start. But we're going to have to call this, uh, I guess, the House of Krupp Part 2. And a little more back. That's the problem with me is I keep having to put, I can't stay on topic. It's on topic, but it's often related to the topic. Uh, After World War II and the division of the Ottoman Empire and of Palestine, that Iran became an independent country, and not merely that, but became a democracy. Well, the CIA had determined, well, I don't know what they were called in those days, but the roots of the CIA determined that they were leery about the nature of the government. Now, this is an elected government, a democracy in Iran, so they came in and with the help of the CIA overthrew the government and installed the Shah of Iran and reinstituted the peacock throne. So right away, most Iranians had something against the United States. We stuck our nose in a democracy because we didn't like it. And it's not the first time. We've done it in Latin America time and time again. They didn't call them banana republics for anything. United Fruit actually ran Latin America with the help of the CIA. But that's another diversion. There I go again. So with establishing the Shah there, we were guaranteed we were going to get cheap oil, and we were going to have a friendly government because of the fact that we provided him with 100% of his military goods. And even to this day, we're the largest seller of military goods around the world. All right. Now, per capita, of course, Israel sells more than we do per capita, but just the largest single amount we do. Now back to Iran. So we institute the peacock throne again, and of course there's much diversion about that, and it led to the capture of our embassy when the Shah of Iran was out of the country seeking cancer treatment in the United States, and he ended up fleeing to Egypt. But they they had reason to dislike us. Now the counterbalance, well, that's all we do. We play people against people and let them kill each other because we think it's in the best interest of America. The counterbalance to Iran was always Iraq. Now during the Iran-Iraqi war, which ran for 10 years and killed over 1 million people, that we provided satellite information to Saddam Hussein. Now, why? Because we were more afraid of Iran than we were of Iraq. And if we kept the Sunni and the Shia fighting each other, and we kept Iraq and Iran fighting each other, then they couldn't give us much trouble. That was our notion. So I think recently there was a program on those swamp people that lived in southern Iraq, and we allowed Saddam to drain the swamps so that people, Iranians couldn't infiltrate and cause them any trouble down there. So we have a terrible, terrible history in this part of the country, and we keep putting our foot in there, and basically we put our foot in there because the Israelis and their strong lobby get us to put our foot in there. Now back to the House of Krupp. So we have totally destroyed the infrastructure of Iraq, and because so we Halliburton and other companies go in there and scoop up all the money in rebuilding it, and they did a terrible job. 7 Americans soldiers were killed, electrocuted, taking showers that were so faultily built that just the water in the shower made a connection, and 7 American soldiers died by electrocution, and that was all cut rate shit done by Halliburton. So we're in a state now where we decide, well, we belong in Afghanistan. We had such success in Iraq. Now we're leaving Iraq, all right, but we're leaving total chaos. because they can't settle on anything. Because the Turkmen, they want their territory up north near Kirkuk. The Sunni, who used to rule, they're sweating bricks because the Shia now control the majority of their institutions, and we're left holding the bag, saying, well, geez, everything's nice and quiet, we'll leave. Sort of like what happened in Yugoslavia. Now, who'd have ever guessed that Tito was the glue that held Yugoslavia together? What happened? As soon as Tito dies, the people that have been neighbors for hundreds of years slit each other's throats in the night. It was crazy. Now we got uh, we've got Croatia and uh, and Sarajevo and Bosnia, Serbia, Macedonia. We have all these uh, people that are carving their own little niche out, and it's the only way they can to guarantee that there isn't going to be ethnic cleansing. This ethnic cleansing is such a catastrophe around the world. Look at Northern Ireland. Hundreds of years, Catholics fought Protestants. Catholics fought Protestants. It's just incredibly stupid. But that's the nature of man, I guess. Incredibly stupid for the most part. So now we go on. Get back to that. I'm sorry, I keep diverting from this, but um, we're in a position now where hopefully we're done shedding blood, but we'll never be done as far as paying for this Iraqi adventure. Now we have all the large non-American oil companies coming in and signing contracts. Iraq and Iran have tremendous untapped oil reserves, and now we have Shell, British Petroleum, we have the Russians, um, we have all these foreign companies coming in now that we've made it reasonably safe, and they're going to extract all the oil. And this was the war that Bush said was going to pay for itself because we were going to be part now of OPEC. Well, it's never paid for itself. It never will pay for itself. And what the tortured minds of our poor boys and girls coming back from there, they'll never be the same, a lot of them. And that's never going to pay for itself. And what are they going to do? The first thing they're going to do probably is cut veterans' benefits. This is one crazy mess we got ourselves in. Now, a little crazier mess, of course, is our involvement in Afghanistan. Now, the Taliban were nuts, but they've always been nuts. I mean, look when they destroyed that 300-year-old standing Buddha, just because there there are no images, religious images permitted. If you see all the Muslim countries, they got beautiful, intricate geometric works, but there's no representation of any human beings or of what they perceive God to be, because it's against the Sharia law. So we go into a tribal nation, Afghanistan, and it's been tribal for thousands of years. This guy behind me, Alexander the Great, he went in and he decided it was such a mess he couldn't do anything about it. He got the hell out of there. He had enough sense. Certainly the Russians couldn't, and no one's going to solve that because of the terrain and because of the nature of the people. Now, when we're as far as over the horizon we can see, we're not going to be out of Afghanistan. Why? Because we're so fearful of what's going on between excuse me, between Pakistan and India that we figure we need a presence in Afghanistan. But under the Taliban, 90% of poppy production was eliminated. Now we've got heroin addicts. We've always had them in this country, and they used to get uh, uh, 80 or 90% of all their heroin used to come out of Afghanistan. For some reason, it's just perfect for growing that variety of poppy. And the Taliban, who under Sharia law were against the use of drugs and alcohol, didn't permit the growth of the farming of these poppies. Now the Taliban control the farming of the poppies. So if you have a drug district in your town, then the people that are buying that heroin are paying money that's going to the Taliban to buy arms to kill Americans. Now, this ain't a sad state of affairs. So we throw the Taliban out. Now, we had no right to throw the Taliban out. There are cells of people that hate Americans and are tolerated by many governments around the world. And look at 19 or 17 of the 19 hijackers came from Saudi Arabia. Uh, and what did we do? We sent, when no other planes could fly, we sent private jets around to scoop up all the Saudis and make sure they got back home safe. Why? Lots of oil in Saudi Arabia. This is one mess, and now the Chinese are coming into Afghanistan, building pipelines and building rail systems while we protect them. And you know what they're building them with? They're building with the profits they made from selling Chinese material to the United States government. So our boys are bleeding, our treasury is bleeding, and we're in a nearly catastrophic debt situation, which I'll speak of at some other rant, because of the simple fact that people, and particularly the Bush administration, had no concept of history. Thank you very much.